Hey, what's up? Welcome back to Truth Hurts, your go-to channel for stories that sting. Today it's my turn in the hot seat. This one's raw, ripped straight from my life. Hit subscribe. You know you want to hear how this train wreck unfolds. Let's call this one Empire State of Betrayal. From the moment I locked eyes with Sophia, I knew she lived for the spotlight, for the velvet rope, for the whole damn VIP experience. It wasn't just the way she moved in those Fifth Avenue dresses, like she was born on a runway, or how she'd dissect every menu like she was scouting locations for a Michelin star. It was deeper, a hunger in her eyes, a craving for the best of everything. And let's be real, my 9-to-5 in Midtown, grinding away in accounting, it just wasn't cutting it for her appetite. We were 10 years married, a decade of building a life, when Ethan and Maya came along, our two little firecrackers, both under 8. To the outside world, we were that perfect Brooklyn Heights family. Brownstone, good schools, Sunday brunch at the local bistro. I worked my tail off, loved my kids and Sophia with everything I had, and honestly, I was content, solid. But Sophia was wired differently. She had this insatiable thirst for more Manolos, more Hamptons getaways, more zeros in the bank account. And somewhere along the line, that hunger morphed into a laser focus on her career. She was clawing her way up the ladder at this high-powered marketing firm downtown, and it became her whole damn world. It started subtly, almost innocently, with the late nights at the office. "Big pitch coming up, Mark," she'd say, her eyes bright with ambition, a little too bright maybe. And I believed her. I did. I trusted her. Blindly, stupidly, trusted her. Then came the business trips. Corporate retreat in the Hamptons, or client meetings in Miami, she'd announce, packing her designer carry-on. At first, it didn't even register as a red flag. Sophia had always been driven, a force of nature in heels, and I actually admired that fire in her. But then this little voice, this nagging feeling, started whispering in the back of my mind. Something felt off-key. And then the signs started flashing, like neon billboards screaming in my face. A brand spanking new Birkin bag, the kind that had a waiting list longer than the line at Shake Shack, suddenly appeared in our apartment. This bag cost more than my entire bonus last year. I tried to play it cool when she sashayed in with it, like it was no big deal, just another Tuesday night. "New bag, huh?" I joked, trying to keep it light. But there was an edge in my voice I couldn't hide. "What happened to that nest egg we were building?" She tossed me this practiced smile, the kind that said, "Don't push it, buddy." "Oh, this old thing." She waved it off dismissively, like it was some thrift store find. "Had it for ages." Ages? This bag still had the damn price tag on it, tucked inside a silk dust bag. But that was just the beginning of the avalanche. Her whole style started morphing, like she was auditioning for Succession. Her hair was suddenly always blowout perfect, like she had a personal stylist on speed dial. Her outfits became sharper, more power suit, more Park Avenue princess, but with this undeniable, eye-watering price tag. And all the while, our joint bank account was looking emptier than a Times Square tourist trap in January. It didn't take Sherlock Holmes to start connecting the dots. The Birkin, the sudden style upgrade, the vague business trips. It was all starting to paint a picture I didn't want to see, but I kept pushing the thought away, burying it deep, like it was some dirty secret I was ashamed to even consider. One evening, over takeout from our usual spot, I tried to test the waters, keep it casual, see if I could get a read on her. "So how's Mr. Big Shot treating you?" I asked, trying for a light tone, but my voice felt tight. "You mentioned he was taking a special interest in your work lately." She shrugged, not meeting my eyes, picking at her pad thai like it was personally offensive. "Oh, just giving me more responsibility. Said he sees potential. Promotion might be on the horizon." But her tone was off, way off. Too casual, too rehearsed, like she was reading from a script she hadn't quite memorized. Still, I let it go. I wanted to believe her, desperately. I didn't want to be that paranoid, insecure husband, grilling his wife over every little thing. But the universe, it has a funny way of slapping you in the face with the truth. And the slap that was coming was about to knock me sideways. A few weeks later, my phone buzzed. A name I hadn't seen in months. Mike. My old college roommate, Mike the Mouth Mancini. Mike was the kind of guy who knew everything about everyone. A walking, talking gossip column, and apparently his network extended to Sophia's workplace. Mike started with the usual bro talk, catching up on sports, cracking some lame jokes. But then his voice dropped, got serious, and I knew something was coming. "Look, Mark, I gotta level with you, man. Heard something through the grapevine, and it's not good." My gut clenched. I braced myself. "What's up, Mike?" I asked, my voice suddenly flat. "So, you know Tony, my cousin. Works at that fancy ad agency downtown. Turns out he's on the same floor as your wife, Sophia." My heart started hammering against my ribs. Tony? Tony worked in Sophia's office building. Oh, hell no. "Yeah, so?" I said, trying to sound unconcerned, but my voice was shaking. "So, Tony's got eyes and ears, He's seen some stuff." Mike paused, dragging out the suspense like he was starring in his own damn soap opera. "Stuff?" I repeated, my voice rising. "What kind of stuff, Mike? Spit it out." Okay, chill, man," Tony says. "Well, he says Sophia's been getting real cozy with her boss. Like, after-hours drinks cozy. Late-night strategy sessions cozy. You catching my drift, Mark?" The air in my lungs seemed to vanish. My vision tunneled. "Cozy," I repeated, my voice a hollow echo. "Too cozy, Mike?" "Let's just say Tony's seen them leaving the office together. Late. Real late. And not in a grabbing a cab with the team kind of way, More like sharing a lingering goodbye in the elevator kind of way." My blood ran cold. I could practically see it. Sophia and her boss, some slick Wall Street wolf tangled up in some dimly lit bar, laughing too loud, touching too much. And then what? The elevator ride, his apartment, my stomach churned. "Look, Mark, I'm just saying, man, Tony's a pretty reliable source, and he's seen it more than once. Just thought you should know." Mike's voice faded out, the words hanging in the air like a toxic cloud. I hung up the phone, my hand shaking so badly I almost dropped it. I stared at the brick wall of our Brooklyn apartment, each brick suddenly mocking me, each one a tiny testament to the life I thought I had, the life that was crumbling around me. I wasn't angry, not yet, just numb, confused, disbelief warring with a sickening growing certainty. Could Sophia really be doing this? My Sophia, the mother of my children, the woman I'd built a life with, the woman I thought I knew. It was like a punch to the gut, a betrayal so deep it stole my breath. And then, like a twisted highlight reel, all the signs Mike had unknowingly confirmed started flashing through my mind. The late nights, now not big projects, but after-hours drinks. The expensive handbags, not bonuses, but what? Gifts? Bribes? The business trips suddenly recategorized as romantic getaways? It all clicked. The pieces of the puzzle slamming into place with a sickening finality. It wasn't just a feeling anymore. It was a cold, hard, undeniable truth staring me in the face. Sophia was cheating on me. And not just cheating, but using me. Using our life, our family, as a stepping stone to climb her way to the top. The ambition I had admired, the drive I had supported, it had twisted, warped into something ugly, something destructive. And I was the casualty. That night, sleep was a battlefield. My mind was a war zone. Images of Sophia and her boss playing on repeat, each one a fresh stab wound. I tossed and turned, sheets tangled around me, heart pounding, trying to make sense of it, trying to find a way out of this nightmare. How could I confront her? What would I say? Accuse her? Demand the truth? But what if Mike was wrong? What if Tony had misinterpreted something? A tiny sliver of hope, a desperate clinging to denial. But deep down, I knew. I knew with a bone-chilling certainty that shattered my world. By the time Sophia breezed in the next evening, radiating that polished power woman energy, I was a walking zombie, fueled by coffee and adrenaline, strung tighter than a violin string. She walked in, dropped her Birkin on the kitchen counter with a casual thud that echoed like a gunshot in the silent apartment, and flashed me a practiced smile. "Hey, honey, how was your day?" Honey. The word tasted like ash in my mouth. I stared at her, really looked at her, at the carefully constructed facade, the designer armor she wore like a shield, and I snapped. The humor I usually use to diffuse tension, the light-hearted jokes, it all evaporated, replaced by a raw, burning anger. "You moonlighting as a sugar baby now, Sophia?" I spat out, the words sharper, more venomous than I intended. Or did I miss the memo about the company-sponsored Birkin policy? Her smile faltered, just for a fraction of a second, but it was enough. I saw the flicker of guilt, the flash of panic in her eyes before she quickly masked it, pulling her composure back around her like a designer cloak. "Don't be ridiculous, Mark," she said, her voice tight, defensive. "You know I got a bonus last month, a good one." Bonus, right. For what? Sleeping her way to the top? I raised an eyebrow, my gaze unwavering, drilling into her. "Bonus big enough to cover a Birkin, Sophia. And those spontaneous business trips you've been taking must be one hell of a bonus." Her face paled, a slow, creeping whiteness that started at her neck and spread upwards, staining her cheeks with a sickly flush. But she held her ground, squared her shoulders, and tried to bluff her way through it. "What are you even getting at, Mark?" she demanded, her voice rising, a tremor of panic creeping in despite her efforts to control it. I leaned back against the kitchen counter, crossing my arms, trying to appear calm, collected, while inside I was a raging inferno. "Sophia, I heard something from someone at your office," I said, my voice low, dangerous. "Rumor mill says you're climbing that corporate ladder, in more ways than one." Her eyes widened this time. No mask, no pretense, just raw, naked fear. She knew. She knew I knew. And in that moment, the flimsy wall of lies she had built around herself crumbled into dust. "That's insane," she snapped, her voice shrill, desperate. "Who told you that? Who's been spreading lies?" "Tony's cousin, Mike," I said, cutting through her denials like a knife. "And he's not spreading lies, Sophia. He's telling me things that don't exactly sound like business as usual. Something about after-hours drinks. Late nights in the elevator." I watched her face crumble, the carefully constructed facade shattering completely. The color drained from her face, leaving her looking pale and fragile, but I felt nothing. No pity, no sympathy, just a cold, hard anger. "And then there's the business trip to Miami," I continued, pressing my advantage, twisting the knife. "You hate Miami, Sophia. Too humid. You always complain. So, what were you really doing in Miami? Besides client meetings?" Silence. A deafening, guilt-ridden silence that filled the kitchen, heavy and suffocating. She stood there frozen, trapped in her own web of deceit, no escape, no excuses left. And then, finally, the dam broke. "Okay, fine," she blurted out, her voice cracking, tears welling in her eyes. "Yes, I was in Miami, but it wasn't like that." "Like what, Sophia?" I challenged, my voice dripping with sarcasm. "Like you were actually working, like you were actually in client meetings, instead of—" "What? Lounging by the pool with your boss, sipping cocktails and networking?" She flinched, like I'd slapped her. The tears spilled over, tracing tracks of mascara down her cheeks, ruining her perfect makeup. "It wasn't supposed to happen," she sobbed, her voice a broken whisper. I wanted the promotion so badly. I wanted more. More. There it was. The truth, stripped bare, ugly and selfish. Her ambition, her insatiable hunger for more, had devoured everything, including our marriage, our family, our life. "Promised?" I said, holding up my hand, stopping her pathetic excuses before they could even form. "Promised what, Sophia? That sleeping with your boss would fast-track your career? That trading your vows for a promotion was a smart move?" She looked down, shame and guilt finally consuming her. Silent. Defeated. I took a deep, shuddering breath, trying to control the tremor in my voice, the rage that was threatening to explode. "Look, Sophia," I said, my voice low, strained but firm. "I've never been materialistic, you know that. I've always been happy with what we had. Enough, but I never in my wildest dreams thought you'd stoop this low. I never thought you'd be willing to throw away everything we've built, everything we shared, for a few extra dollars and a fancy title." Her eyes were swimming in tears now, a pathetic display of crocodile sorrow, but I felt nothing, no sympathy, no compassion, just a profound, bone-deep disappointment. "I didn't mean for it to happen like this," she whimpered, her voice choked with sobs. "Well, it did, Sophia," I said, my voice flat, cold as ice. "And I can't live with it. I won't. I gave you everything, Sophia, my love, my trust, my loyalty, and this is how you repay me." She started to cry harder, a full-blown dramatic meltdown, but I didn't move, didn't offer a hand, didn't offer a word of comfort. I was done, completely, utterly done. "So, what now?" she choked out between gasping sobs, her voice barely audible. I looked at her, at the wreckage of our marriage, at the shattered pieces of our life scattered around us, and for the first time in a long time, I felt a sense of clarity, a sense of grim, painful resolution. "I don't know, Sophia," I said, my voice hard, unyielding. "But I think it's time you find somewhere else to live. You can have the corner office, Sophia, you can have the boss, you can have all the more you've ever craved, but you won't have me.